It's time to make some money on UFC 318. In this video, I'm going to give you 3 of my best bets. I got a round prop bet for you, and I got 2 prop bets. In addition, I'm going to show you every single one of my DFS plays, which if you're a returning viewer to the channel, you know you always want to tell the DFS plays. We've been crushing it. We crushed it last week. We're going to crush it again. And lastly, I'll let you know where you can get every single one of my bets on UFC 318 completely free. But before we get into the best bets for UFC 318, I got to announce who the winner of the giveaway of the Professor Parlay Tee was for last week. If you stuck around in last week's video, I let you know all you had to do to win the Professor Parlay Tee was comment on the video. And Chris H. Rauda 7975 listened, and he's going to walk away with a Professor Parlay Tee. I'm going to pay for all the shipping. Please DM me on Instagram if you can, Chris H. Ruda, and I can get your address so I can send that over to you. If not, comment on the video again, and I'll try to reach out to you through YouTube. We'll find a way to make it happen. But you are the winner, and you're going to get a Professor Parlay Tee sent to you. I got all the sizes, small, medium, large, XL, double XL, whatever you need. I got it for you, and we're going to run another giveaway at the end of this video. So stick around for that. And then we're going to hit the recap of how last week's Best Bets video went. We're on a solid little streak, but this bet was not good. This bet was not good. It was not good at all. Calvin Kattar money line, big fat L. But we did hit the fight to not go the distance in the first fight of the night. Round 3 head kick. Bit of a lucky cash, but sometimes it's better to be lucky than to be good. And we did hit the parlay as well. This one was not much of a sweat. I mean, over 2.5 had its moments, but there wasn't really any, finishing sequences that got the blood pressure spiked. And then the other under 1.5 rounds lasted 35 seconds. So that was an easy cash there. That was the biggest play we had on the card, was that parlay for plus 104. So overall, we were positive 1.36 units last week on the 3 bets that I gave you for free on the show. And that makes it 4 weeks in a row where the 3 bets that I gave you were profitable. Let's make it 5 this week. The DFS plays last week were absolute money. We only missed 1 pick the entire card. Unfortunate, because we could have hit the 100X and the 20X if we had swept, but we did not. We still made 5 units on DFS. So great week last week at UFC Nashville. Let's continue it on UFC 318, and we'll start you off with a prop bet. We're going Hemi Crute by KO or sub to win inside the distance, however you want to say it. Jimmy Crute's going in there against Marcin Prachnio, and I think he should do whatever he wants to Marcin Prachnio. Marcin Prachnio is a huge step down in competition. Jimmy Crute is a finisher. I think all of his wins in the UFC are round 1 finishes. Four of them in the UFC are all round 1 finishes. I think you could do the same thing here to Marcin Prachnio, and if he doesn't, Marcin Prachnio is a known gasser. Got submitted in round 3 by Vitor Petrino. Got submitted in round 3 by Modestas Bukauskas. Now, Jimmy Crute's gas tank ain't that great either, but he's got a lot of heart, man. He's got a lot of heart, and he showed in his last fight against Adolfo Bellato after the 2-year layoff. He still got heart. He battled it out, went to a draw, but I think Bellato is a much better fighter than Marcin Prachnio. I think Crute could KO him on the feet, could club and sub him, but I think if he just takes him down, he can work his way to a submission real easily here. So Jimmy Crute, Hemi Crute, inside the distance, KO or sub, minus 120. Putting 1.5 units on that. There's your first bet of the video. We'll go to the Underdog Plays this week. If you're in one of these highlighted states, you're going to want to download the Underdog app if you have not already. We're positive 97.78 units since 2024 on 2 pick entries alone. I just showed you early in the video, we cashed in 5 units on UFC Nashville, and we've hit big slips like these already this year. We've hit many in the past. Use code HeyJob to get your deposit bonus up to $1,000. There's a link down in the description if you want to download it, or if you're watching on a TV or a monitor, just whip out your phone, scan the QR code, and it'll download it a little bit faster. And this week, new customers are going to get a Dustin Poirier gimme pick. Just needs to land 1 significant strike in the main event, and you win. It's free coin, boys. It's free coin. If you want free coin, if your sister, who's over the age of 18 or 21, I forget, your sister, your brother, wants a free coin this Saturday, set him up. Dustin Poirier is going to land one significant strike. I can almost guarantee you that. But even if he doesn't, you'll get your money back. So, I mean, this is as free as it gets, boys. It's a gimme pick. Download the Underdog app. Get your free coin on Dustin Poirier. Use code HeyJav. Get your deposit bonus as well. You can lock these plays in. Let's take a look at the 5-legger on Underdog. We got Himmy Crew lower than 40.5. He's hit this in every single fight in the UFC except for his last one against Adolfo Bellato. So we get some recency bias in there to jack up the line. But every other fight he's had in the UFC, he's gone lower than 40.5. Love that there. Brendan Allen, higher than 48.5. Marvin Vettori's opponents have hit this, I think, in 8 of his last 9 fights. And the only guy that didn't go higher than 48.5 was Kevin Holland. And he took down Kevin Holland 11 times, just held him the entire fight. I don't see him holding Brendan Allen for the entire fight. So I think they're going to be on the feet. Marvin Vettori absorbs, I think, over 6 significant strikes per minute. So I think this line is just way too low. I like Brendan Allen higher than 48.5 there. Kyler Phillips, lower than 54.5. This one's a little bit dicey, but Vinicius Oliveira does not absorb that many significant strikes. Every single fight he's had in the UFC, his opponent's gone lower than this. I don't think they've cracked 40. I think Bernardo Sopai might have gotten 45, but I think there could be a lot of grappling in this fight as well. I mean, Vinicius Oliveira looks for his takedowns quite often. Kyler Phillips, I think, might want to, slow down Vinicius, especially early, and look for the grappling as well. So I could see a lot of grappling here. I could see an early finish, and I just don't think guys like to throw a lot at Vinicius Oliveira because he swings hard. He's very physical, and so it kind of makes them a little bit hesitant to throw what they got. And Kyler Phillips isn't really a guy that throws a lot in combination. It's a lot of head kicks. It's a lot of one shot, and then he's trying to get out of there. So I like the lower there for Kyler Phillips at 54.5. Dan Ige, lower than 50.5. He's hit this in every fight except for one in his last 7. And the only fighter that he went higher against was against Nate Landwehr, who's super durable but also extremely hittable. Patricio Pitbull, not super hittable, but also just super low volume as well. Dan Ige not a very high volume guy. I could see an instance where Dan Ige knocks him out. I could see an instance where Patricio Pitbull wants to put on the wrestling shoes and Dan Ige's on his back. So I think there's a lot of upside here for Dan Ige to go lower than 50.5. Just a little bit too high, I thought. So I'm playing the lower there on Dan Ige. And then we're taking Daniel Rodriguez lower than 45.5. Kevin Holland's opponents have hit this in 13 of his last 15 UFC fights. 13 of his last 15. That's a huge sample size. And the only guys that went higher were Stephen Wonderboy Thompson and Jack Della Maddalena. 2 elite strikers. I don't see D-Rod as that guy. He is a high-volume guy, but, Kevin Holland's going to have a huge reach advantage, and I think he probably finishes D-Rod. So there's your 5-pick entry on Underdog. We got a 2-pick entry here, Dan Ige and Daniel Rodriguez, both lower. 2 picks correct wins 3x. Always make sure you play the 2-pick entries as well. And there's the Underdog plays right there. Once again, if you're one of these highlighted states, download the Underdog app. Use code HeyJaw. Get that deposit bonus. Get that Dustin Poirier gimme pick. Get your free coin. Link down in the description below or scan the QR code. Lock them in. We'll make some money. And we're going to go to the sleeper picks right after this because take a look at this payout, boys. We're getting 3.16x. You could lock it in. You could lock it in on Underdog to win 3x, but we're going to get an extra little payout here for the same lines that we were getting earlier on in the week. Sleeper play this week is going to be Roman Kopylov higher on significant strikes. I think he's going to put up a ton of significant strikes on Paulo Costa. Costa absorbs over 6 significant strikes per minute. Roman Kopylov just landed over 100 against Chris Curtis. I think he gets 80 to 90. I think the fight probably goes the distance. And then we're playing that with Brendan Allen higher than 48.5. Already gave you the breakdown on that one when I was going over his pick on Underdog. But there's your 2-pick entry on Sleeper. We're getting a better payout on Sleeper. That's why I played it on Sleeper, 3.16x instead of just a regular 3x. So if you're in one of these light purple states, download the Sleeper Picks app. Link down in the description below. Use code HeyJav to get your deposit bonus up to $100. And if you want to, download Chalkboard as well and shop the best lines. They're a little slow on getting their significant strike lines out, but they usually do have them by Friday and Saturday. It's another place where you can shop for the best lines there. Always want to make sure you have the best lines, the best payouts. Code HeyJob, 100%, or get your deposit bonus up to $100. Link down in the description below if you're in one of those green states. We'll go to the round prop bet, and this one might not be very popular, but I think I love it. I'm falling in love with it, man. Okay, round prop bet this week. We're going with the fight to knock over the distance again. Last week we had Fatima Klein, Melissa Martinez at cash, but it was a little bit lucky. This one, I don't think it's going to be lucky, boys. Okay, fight to knock over the distance in the main event. Max Holloway versus Dustin Poirier. We're getting plus 115, man. Plus 115. I don't know if you watched the second fight that they have had. It was an all-out war for 25 minutes, and that was 6 years ago. Max Holloway took a beating. Dustin Poirier took some big shots as well. That was 6 years ago. That alone tells me that this fight could easily be finished because these are guys that go into every fight not looking to take a step backward, looking to take their opponent's head off with big combinations. You're going to have tons of opportunities where they're throwing their hands, throwing their kicks. There's going to be a lot of opportunities for this fight to be finished just based off of what we saw in that second fight, and that was 6 years ago. Now, I don't think either guy is as durable as they were back in 2019. Dustin Poirier has been finished 7 times in his career. Max Holloway, the only guy to finish him before Ilia Topuria was Dustin Poirier. Granted, it was his UFC debut, but Poirier did submit him, so we get a little something there. Max Holloway coming off his first ever knockout loss, and now he's going back up to 155. Who's to say his chin isn't gone? I think there's a lot of reasons why I could play the plus money here on the fight to knock out the distance. And if you even look, Dustin Poirier hasn't been to a decision in 7 straight fights. Max Holloway hasn't been to a decision in 3 straight fights. I think there's finishing upside on both sides. I think both guys can be finished as well. I know they're not going to just go in there and stare at each other. They're going to go in there and swing those fists. And BMF title fights, never been to a decision either. So I love it, boys. 2 units on that. Fight to knock out the distance at plus 115. I was waiting because it was like at minus 110. Then it was minus 105. And then it was plus 100. And then it was plus 110. And as soon as it got to plus 115, I'm like, there's no way this could go higher. So I locked in at plus 115. But who's to say? Maybe it goes to plus 120, 125, 130. Who knows? But I just love, thinking that there's going to be a lot of violence in this fight, and I don't think either guy is as durable as they were back in 2019. There's your round prop bet for the week. 2 units on that. Fight to knock out the distance in the main event, plus 115. Now, if you want all the bets this week, jump in the Home of Fight Picks Premium Membership. Last week, we were up over 8 units on UFC Nashville to push our total to plus 41.54 units in 2025. So we're almost at our 2023 total just through July this year. And last year, we were up over 100 units. Use code 318 at checkout. You'll get a 7-day free trial. As soon as I make a bet, I'll post it into the Winnable. You'll get it texted to your phone so you don't miss out on anything. Super easy there. You get access to the Discord as well. We can talk in the Discord as well. So it's free. If you use code 318, you'll get a 7-day free trial. There's a link down in the description below. That's where you're going to get every single one of my bets every single week, and you'll get the DFS plays early in the week as well. I also alluded to a big parlay I had in my early picks video. I didn't share it here on the best bets video because the lines have shifted a little bit, and I didn't really want to give it to you because the lines had shifted a little bit, and I thought I could just give you one of the other bets that I liked as well. So I do have a pretty hefty parlay in there as well. So if you want to see that, go check it out. Link down in the description below. Home of Fight Picks Premium Membership. Use code 318 for a 7-day free trial. The other prop bet this week is going to be Kevin Holland KO or submission. Inside the distance, minus 135. Seems like a gift. All right? Because Kevin Holland is a finisher, man. He does not go to decision very often, and when he goes to decision, he's usually losing. I don't see him losing this fight. Daniel Rodriguez is 38 years of age. Don't think he has much for Kevin Holland at this point in his career. He's been finished in 2 of his last 3 losses. He got submitted by Neil Magny. Not a good look. He got knocked out by Ian Gary. Ian Gary ain't knocking out many people. Very good fighter, but he ain't knocking out many people. Kevin Holland, nasty striking on the feet, heavy hands, great clinch game, hard elbows, hard knees up the middle. And if you want to go to the ground with him, you're getting your neck snatched. Kevin Holland should absolutely finish Daniel Rodriguez, okay? This is the matchup where Kevin Holland just runs through his opponents. At welterweight, you look at who he's faced. Tim Means, old, finished him. Alex Oliveira, old, finished him. Michael Chiesa, old, finished him. Santiago Ponzinibbio, old, finished him. Vicente Luque, a little bit washed, old, finished him. The only guy he didn't finish was Gunnar Nelson, and Gunnar Nelson has the best grappling out of all of them, and he almost got knocked out in round one, and then he was able to mix in a little bit of some clinch and some ground control time to eat some clock to make it to a decision, but I don't think Daniel Rodriguez is doing that. So give me Holland inside the distance, KO or sub, minus 135 for 1.5 units. There's another prop bet for you. We'll go to the Betr Picks plays now. If you're in one of these purple states, you're going to want to download Betr Picks if you haven't already. We almost hit the 100x payout again. Last week at UFC Nashville, we went 7 of 8. And the one pick that we missed, we got stat corrected after the fight. She was at 35 significant strikes. Or no, she was at 34 significant strikes. We had her lower than 35 and a half. And then, boom, she gets stat corrected to 44 out of nowhere. Don't know where it happened, but we would have made another 100x payout on UFC Nashville. And then a couple weeks ago at UFC Baku, we were 7 of 8 again. We didn't get stat corrected on that, but we're very close to hitting the 100x payout again because we did hit one on UFC 314, which was a glorious night. But I believe we could do it very soon in the future. So download Betr Picks if you haven't already. Use code HeyJob to get that deposit bonus up to $250 and lock these plays in. The 8-legger this week is Ryan Spann lower, Carly Judice higher, Jimmy Crute lower, Kyler Phillips lower, Daniel Rodriguez lower, Roman Kopylov higher, Brendan Allen higher, and Adam Fugit lower. I wanted to throw Dan Ige in there because if you look at my 2-pick entries, I usually just throw all 4 2-pick entries into an 8-pick entry for Betr Picks, but they didn't have Dan Ige on the app when I was putting it in, and they limited me to $50 instead of $100, so that sucks. But either way, Ryan Spann, I mean, he's a very low-volume guy, doesn't throw many feelers out there, throws a lot of big, powerful shots looking for the KO, and I think he probably finds a round 1 KO. So Ryan Spann, lower than 20.5. Carly Judice, higher than 95.5. It's a high line. It's a very high line. But this girl throws like 300 significant strikes in a fight. So I think she could get 150, 160. And if that's the case, if it goes to decision, if that's the case, I think she's going to easily eclipse 100. So I like Carly Judice higher than 95.5. Obviously, you need the fight probably to go to a decision, and I think it probably does. So it's a high line, but if it does go to a decision, I could see her getting 150 plus. So Jimmy Crute, lower than 40.5. I love Jimmy Crute here, lower on significant strikes because I already broke it down in the underdog breakdown, but he's hit this in every single fight in the UFC except for his last one. So we get some recency bias there. Kyler Phillips, lower. Daniel Rodriguez, lower. We talked about Kopylov higher, Brendan Allen higher. And then I put Adam Fugit lower in there because I think Dulatov probably gets him out of there in round 1. And, if the fight ends in round 1, you're probably going lower on significant strikes. And I think Dulatov's probably going to be the one leading the dance. So I like Adam Fugit lower than 25.5 there. Again, I wanted to put Ige in there, but he wasn't on the app when I was putting it in. So I had to switch it up a little bit. 2-pick entry, Jimmy Crute and Kyler Phillips both lower. And then we're going Carly Judice higher than 95.5 significant strikes, and Ryan Spann lower than 20.5. 2-pick entries pay out 3x. If you're in one of these purple states, lock it in through the link in my bio on Betr Picks. Use code HeyJob, get your deposit bonus up to $250. Lock them in, and we can make some money. And lastly, if you want to win a Professor Parlay shirt, just comment on this video, support the channel, like the video for me, subscribe to the channel. I appreciate you for taking the time out of your day to watch the video. Hopefully we cash in. Hopefully you cash in if you're going off on any other different bets than I gave you now, but hopefully the ones that I gave you do cash. I have great confidence in them. I feel great about this card. I think we're going to make a lot of money. So appreciate y'all. Until next time, HeyJob Picks. We out.